if any of this affidavit is true, ABC News is finished.
Agree.
That's why it's a big deal. That's why, I mean, you've got Bill Ackman out there demanding that Bob Iger, I mean, Bill Ackman is nothing to shake a stick at. He's a very prominent American citizen, businessman, and he's demanding that Bob Iger respond to this affidavit right now. And there are many others all over the internet demanding a response. Just deny it. Go on the record and say, this is bullshit. None of this is true. You know, come forward. The whistleblower should come forward with his, I think it's a he, name and face and make these allegations on the record, to your point, so we can assess credibility. We can figure out whatever bias he has. He says he's not a Donald Trump supporter. He's not even going to vote for Donald Trump in this election. The thing that's the most persuasive about it to me, Emily, on the other side of the roster, like suggesting that this could indeed be real, is that it's dated September 9th. He says that it was sent certified mail to himself and Speaker Johnson on that day. And so this is before the debate ever happened. If there is one word of that is true, that they agreed with her team they would be fact-checking Trump and or agreed she wouldn't be facing comparable scrutiny, these guys are toast. Toast.
Let's go to the affidavit, because this thing here is absolutely damning. And I mean damning. This is the actual affidavit. This is the first page of this affidavit, and we're going to look at this and we're going to basically go through it line by line, because it's so important. You need to see this. It is absolutely stunningly amazing. What it says affidavit of the state of New York. This is where the guy was, or woman. We still don't know who it is. And it says, I've worked for ABC News for 10 years in various technical and administrative positions. I hope you can see that's on this page. It's on the left side of the screen there. Since the acquisition of ABC News in 1996, nearly 30 years ago, I have observed significant transformation in the nature of the news reporting at the organization. These changes suggest a shift from unbiased reporting to a model influenced by external factors. So this person, who's been there since 1996, says something has happened. This isn't the way news is supposed to be reported. Why is it that we've seen this change in behavior with a major news agency? So he continues, for the record, I do not endorse Donald Trump in his capacity as candidate for President of the United States. The intent of this affidavit is to address concerns regarding perceived biases within news reporting within my employer's debate that will be hosted on September 10th. That's number 4 on that page. What's really interesting here is this dropped on September 9th. Think of the date. The debate was on the 10th. This dropped on September 9th. Okay, so you're understanding what's going on here. So yesterday when we talked, I said, do you think Trump knew that this thing was out there when he did the debate, or did he have to wait and find out himself? After what happened last night, I'm going to show you he may have indeed known and then went along with it and then said, you know what, I'm not doing another debate. So let me just go here. So on the right side of the page here at the very top, he goes, observations on debate communication. Since the debate of President Trump, and maybe I should, if I can make this bigger, I will. Maybe I can do this. Let me just ask you guys, can you guys see this? Let me know if you guys can see this. Can you see it? My sound is working. I'm looking at it. It must be later. Anybody? Can you guys see? My sound is working. Barry is still only talking. Nothing officially confirmed. No, it's confirmed. I hear just fine. All right. So I don't know why people say they can't. Maybe that was that one little thing. Can you see? All right. So anyway, I'm gonna continue with this. The sound is working, and I'm hoping you guys can see. Can't hear you, Barry. You guys are behind. Just come on. Just come on. All right. So we are now on the top of page 2. Top of page 2, and it states, since the debate of President Trump and Vice President Harris has been announced to be broadcast on ABC, various members of staff had expressed hope of a debate where issues that were important to everyday Americans would be discussed, and there had been promises made that the candidates would be held to firm discussions regarding their proposed policy stances, and that the debate would not deteriorate into an ad campaign where both candidates would simply make blanket statements without specific policy or explanation. Okay, I'm good with that. The guy is actually talking good. This one, okay, I got a better view. All right, so now you can see the view here. Number 3, political position clarification. That's number 2 rather. Many employees of ABC who are looking for a fair and honest debate question the clear bias that is well known throughout the company. So the people in the rank and file understand that, ABC is a left-leaning organization, and they've begun questioning. It is common knowledge that debate moderators as well as chief executive officers of my employer are well known not to support Donald Trump. This led to several. So now, as you're reading this, you have to understand, this is whoever this guy or woman who wrote this has now said there are other employees. There are several employees speaking up now in regards to how fair the debate was going to be. So this wasn't just one idle person. This is the one person who came forward. And let me just take a step back. I just saw a comment where somebody goes, nothing's been confirmed. Let me just tell you something. You ready for this? Because you may not know. You might be ignorant. This man or woman, let's just say the subject from now on because we don't know which way it's going to be. This person has gone into court and has signed an affidavit and affixed their signature and then had it notarized under an oath saying, I'm signing this under my own volition under penalty of perjury. That what I'm about to say here is true. So when people say it hasn't been confirmed, it doesn't need to be confirmed by ABC or anybody else. It's confirmed. It's filed in the court record. Now comes the investigation. But if you've never been in any sort of court case, if you've never been deposed, if you've never had to swear an oath, just because you don't believe it doesn't mean it's not true. This is an actual copy of what got filed, and that's why you see the redactions. So please stop listening to the fake news about it's not confirmed. It's as confirmed as it possibly can be at this point. And the only way, and I want you to understand this, the only way to unconfirm this is to bring this person in for sworn testimony. So once they bring them in for sworn testimony, then the other side can try to impeach their testimony. But right now, it is a legal, valid document known as evidence in most parts of the world, where somebody is now making an allegation and they're swearing to it publicly and saying, free will, under penalty of perjury, this is absolutely what I've witnessed and is true. I wanted to make sure that that distinction was understood. I don't want people thinking, oh, this isn't true. It's not. It's 100% true. That's why it's redacted. So let's continue here, shall we? Okay, we were here. This led to several employees speaking up in regards to how fair the debate was going to be. We were given assurances that the debate would be fair, and neither the Harris campaign nor the Trump campaign would. And they blacked that out. Trying to think what word would that be. Neither the Harris train would gain unfair. I don't know why you would blank that out, but they did. Number 3, as you can see, concerns regarding journalistic integrity. It is my belief that contemporary news organizations, including ABC News, no longer adhere to impartiality. So this is somebody who is in working in ABC. They've been there nearly 30 years, which means they probably have a position of somewhat directorial or executive level, because if you've been there for 30 years and you're still just in the mailroom, you're pretty much not someone who's advanced the corporate ladder, and you probably still wouldn't be there working in the mailroom. So this person has been with ABC for nearly 30 years, and I have personally personally witnessed news stories being cut from programming and not reported at all due to the influence of certain corporations linked to our parent company. Y'all know what that means, right? If you don't know what that means, let me just tell you. So what they've been doing over the years, they've been actually cutting stories, not showing stories that may end up hurting advertisers, meaning the dollar takes priority. I think something happened a couple years ago that required you to get a jab. And there were certain stories going around. I'm pretty sure you know about many of them. And these stories were going around saying people aren't doing well with this thing. What are we going to do? Because people definitely aren't doing well. Well, we're not going to report it. We're not going to report it because it could hurt this company that's been giving us tons of dollars. You see where this is leading? You see how this could be completely, just really bad. All right, so let's go back. Let me go back over to here. I don't know if you've seen this is the entirety of the affidavit. So some people have showed you pieces. I'm showing you the actual words that this person has said. Number 4, as you can see, observations pertaining to debate fairness. I have noted specific instances related to the debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris that raise concerns about procedural fairness. The specific instances of the perceived biases are as follows. The key words here is I have noted specific instances. I've been a witness to this. I know what's happening. A lot of people don't know, what goes on in an affidavit, but this actually is it. So let's now look at what he called is the bias this person see. All right, so let's look at here and let me make sure you guys can all see this. All right, the Harris campaign, here we go. This is the meat. Before he was setting the table saying, I seen some stuff. Now, the Harris campaign received particular accommodations, including, but not limited to, the providing of a podium significantly smaller than that used by Donald Trump and assurances regarding split-screen views that would favorably impact Kamala Harris's appearance relative to Donald Trump. They gave her she's only 5'3" or 5'4". Trump's about 6'3", 6'4". They're like, it's going to look bad. He's going to look too presidential. You're going to have a big, tall man and a little tiny woman over here, and we can't have that. And so if you remember back when the debate was scheduled, they were trying to say, we need to be able to sit down. We want to be behind a desk because they wanted to hide her shortness. I don't care how tall or short anybody is in terms of voting. I've done television. I understand what they were getting at. It's the appearance. If you guys are old enough to remember the Kennedy-Nixon debate, Kennedy strolls out, got his makeup on, looking good. Nixon's looking like all pale and he's sweating. He looks like crap. And people have said long since then that he may have lost the debate simply because of that. Just the way he looked. So the appearances, he didn't want to sit down. You got to stand. Trump knew. He's like, I'm 6'3". She's 5'3". I'm going to tower over her. He knew the appearance. He's done television. He understood how it was going to look. One person was going to be here and the other person was going to be here. I don't agree to it. Can she have a box? No box. She's going to stand there. So what did they do surreptitiously? They're like, okay, let's shrink the podium so she's at the small kid's podium, which makes her look taller, and then let's use a camera angle that's down here that makes her look authoritative because we'll shoot from underneath and we'll shoot this way for Trump. We'll make him look small and we'll make her look big. And this guy or woman, again, I should just call him the subject, is saying it was all a part of the scam. Next, it was agreed that Donald Trump would be subjected to fact-checking during the debate while Kamala Harris would not face comparable scrutiny. Do you think Donald Trump would have showed up at a debate where he knew the fix was in? Hey, we're going to make you look different on camera, and we're not going to fact check her. We're only going to fact check you. You ready for that? You still coming? Hell no, he wouldn't have been there. This was widely known throughout ABC. Wow. This was widely known throughout the company that Donald Trump would be fact checked. They probably were bragging about it. We're going to attack him. In fact, various people were assigned to fact-check observations it was perceived candidate Trump would make during the debate. Okay, so understand what he's saying there. They knew what questions they were going to ask him, and so let's go ahead and pre-screen what possible answers he can have, so when he says something, oh, well, I got this right here. People have asked, how did they know what the mayor of Springfield was going to say if they didn't contact the mayor of Springfield in advance to basically come up with a, oh, well, we talked to this guy and he says you're full of crap. They knew. It was the entire plan. Continued. In fact, various people, I said that one. In fact, Harris campaign required assurances that Donald Trump would be fact-checked. She cheated. There's no getting around it. She cheated. She required, in order for me to participate in this debate, you're going to fact check him. This was done via multiple communications with the Harris campaign, whereas the Trump campaign was not included in the negotiations. A little bit of law background for you. What that guy, okay, I'm going to call it a guy. That's just easy. I just refer to it as a guy. What that guy just said there opens up investigative tools, the arsenal. He just said, okay, this was done via multiple communications with the Harris campaign, and it was done via multiple emails. So what do you think is going to happen? Jim Jordan or Speaker Johnson are going to subpoena the company's emails. We need to see all communications that you had between this date and this date with the Kamala Harris campaign, and all communications you had between this date and this date with the Donald Trump campaign. Bring it. This is getting really deep. I don't know, I get a little bit excited about this legal stuff here. Where were we? To my understanding, any rules, negotiations, and conversations pertaining to the debate should have been had both the Trump and Harris campaign involved. The Harris campaign had numerous more calls regarding the debate rules without the Trump campaign being aware or even on the call. The Harris campaign, here we go. This is it. The Harris campaign was provided with sample questions that, while not the exact questions, covered similar topics that would appear during the debate. Game, set, match. What color is the sky? Oh, but we may ask you instead, when it's a thunderstorm, what color does the sky become? When you're driving on the highway and you're speeding in the left lane and you're going 65 miles an hour, that's okay. Well, let's flip it around. Which lane should you be in when you're going 65 miles an hour? As long as you have the construction of what the question is going to be, you essentially have been given the questions. That's why Trump said, checkmate. She's a liar, she's a cheat, and everybody now knows it. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. The Dems will try to suppress it. Somebody saying, no, you can't suppress this. You can't. There's nothing for you to suppress. I'm going to go through this next page, and then we'll take a break and take some of your comments here. All right, so let me cut over here. Go up to number. Furthermore, the Harris campaign imposed restrictions on the scope of questioning. Not only are you going to tell me what the similar questions are, but I'm going to tell you what questions you can't ask. What do you mean? You're not going to go here. I want no questions regarding the perceived health of President Joe Biden. I think Americans want to hear that, right? I want no inquiries related to her tenure as Attorney General in San Francisco. Don't bring up my past. I want no questions, and this is a big one, and you guys might want to go looking up who this guy is. I want no questions concerning my brother-in-law, Tony West, who faces allegations of embezzling billions. That's with a B. Her brother-in-law is facing allegations of embezzling billions of dollars in taxpayer funds and who may be involved in her administration if elected. How can anybody vote for this woman? How can anybody possibly vote for this person? Don't ask me any questions about my brother-in-law who has stolen billions of dollars and who might be involved in my administration. Go look up Tony West. Your homework for today is to go look up who and what Tony West is accused of. That will probably blow you away. Tony West. And she wanted no parts of that. Do not ask a question. Internal organizational climate. I have observed a pronounced bias against Donald Trump within ABC News. Employees expressing favorable views towards him experience significant concerns about potential retribution. I can't believe Trump's going to, if he gets elected, he's going to do a retribution tour. Meanwhile, everybody else who's not in the Kamala camp at ABC and other companies are already facing that kind of retribution. How dare you vote against Kamala Harris? This is crazy. Let's see, purpose and documentation of this affidavit. This affidavit is executed meaning signed and sworn to document and provide transparency regarding the issue of fairness and impartiality in the debate process and broader concerns about the journalistic integrity at ABC News. Can you imagine? You've worked someplace for 30 years, you've had pride, you're not involved in politics, you're this person, you're a marketing director, who knows what you are. And you're watching your company turn into this cesspool of liberal ideology, this DEI disgusting thing that I've been working at, and I can't even speak up because if I speak up, I'm going to face retribution because I've seen other employees face the same retribution. This isn't America. We're not supposed to have to just shut up or else. It all started with this Obama stuff. It all started and continued when they're like, you're going to have to take this jab or we're going to have to fire you. What? Yeah, we're going to stick you in the arm, shut up and take it, or you're going to get fired. Once you were able to tell someone they had to take a jab in order to keep their job, everything else is fair game. Oh, shut up. You didn't dare talk about that transformer, did you? Oh, we got to call HR. Oh, the transformer said you looked at it funny, and they felt offended. You got to call HR. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't let this guy into the woman's bathroom. You have to call HR. Hey, you work for ESPN, meaning you work for us. And because you work for us, you have to let and promote these women having to have men in their locker room. And you shut up and you take it because you're getting paid probably very well and you can't afford the retribution. You can't afford to be ostracized. You can't afford to lose your job. So go ahead and stick me. Okay. Don't know what I just took, but at least I have my job. I've seen some of my friends lose theirs because they wouldn't take the jab. And I'll shut up about the transformers and I'll just go with your liberal ideology until I don't. And this man finally had enough. He had enough of his friends being subject to retribution. He had enough of his friends being fired. He had enough of watching a company that he thought had integrity that now is impugning on his integrity because he has to lie and say, didn't happen. This is the part that makes things go boom. Boom. This affidavit has been signed and notarized on September 9th, 2024 to ensure that the allegations set forth are formally documented prior to the debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. So the question I have is, who else knew, winky winky, who else knew that this guy had this affidavit signed, or because it says it's already been done? We all found out and said it's coming. This guy did it before the debate. Who knew? Then he goes, in addition to notarizing this affidavit, and this is where it gets really interesting, I have sent a certified letter to myself, postmarked September 9th, 2024, which will remain unopened for any future investigations. So he's going to basically walk into a hearing or a deposition and go, see this letter here? Yeah. It's unopened, it's postmarked. That inside that letter, inside that envelope that's postmarked with the stamp and everything, is the same thing you're reading. I made sure I covered myself. And also, I'm not suicidal. But that's not all. I have also dispatched a Federal Express package containing this affidavit sent on September 9th, and I delivered it to my residence on September 10th, which will remain unopened for investigative purposes. So I got this box here. See this box? And you can check FedEx and you can check the tracking, and it went here, went there, and it came back to my house, and it's unopened. But I'm going to tell you, when you open it, you're going to find out this document that I'm reading to you right now is in this box. It could not have gotten into this box and gone through all this tracking and been picked up by Fred and delivered by Louie if it wasn't real. I notarized it, I signed it, I swore an oath to it. And now I've got mail, and I've got FedEx, where you can track it all, and I'm not suicidal. Okay? All right. And then the big one. When I saw this, I went, oh. Furthermore, I have sent a certified letter to Speaker Mike Johnson, dated September 9th, 2024, to establish a record that the correspondence was sent before the debate commenced. I want y'all to think about that for a second. Before the debate happened, he sent a letter to Mike Johnson. Now, don't know where this was in New York. I doubt it got there the next day. So Mike Johnson didn't get the letter, but this guy said I sent it. So did he tell anyone, I'm sending it to you, and we're going to seal it so you have a copy of it? Did Mike Johnson happen to know at that point what was coming? Hey man, this guy just called me, his attorney, and they've got this whistleblower at ABC News who's sending me this affidavit sworn to, oath, under penalty of perjury that says X, Y, and Z, and he sent it before tomorrow. Before you get on stage tomorrow, Donnie, this guy is saying, you're walking into a trap. I felt like Elvis, caught in a trap. Because did Mike Johnson tell Trump, dude, you're walking into it? And Trump said, let it go. Let's play this out. Remember, everyone talks about Trump playing 5D chess. Did he know walking in there? I don't know. He knew after, because by that time, Mike Johnson had the letter. He had confirmed it. So, don't know all that. But the bottom line is, Mike Johnson had a copy of this affidavit. Additionally, for further investigation, I have secretly recorded several conversations that will prove that the Harris campaign insisted upon not only the fact-checking of Donald Trump, but also insisted on what questions were not to be asked under any circumstances, or else the Harris campaign would decline to participate in the debate. OMG. He's got tapes. He's got tapes. Well, Barry, you can't tape somebody without their knowledge. Really? So if you call my place of business, I can't tape you? If you're talking to someone where you don't have an assumed amount of privacy when you're talking to a business, I bet you if I called ABC right now, you're going to get that recording that you always get on, anywhere, your credit card, your bank. Oh, this call might be recorded for quality assurances. in any event, you know you're calling into or you're getting a call from a business. Just so you know, any communication that you have with a business is not a privileged communication. This man just told the world, yeah, I taped it. I got letters. I taped it. Is it going? Are you seeing it now? He's got tapes. He's got tapes. Let you read that again. Additionally, for further investigation, I have secretly recorded several conversations that will prove that the Harris campaign insisted upon not only the fact-checking of Donald Trump, but also insisted on what questions were not to be asked under any circumstances, or she would decline to participate. And what that tells me, should tell you, is that to impeach this man, basically to say he's lying, you got a lot to overcome at this point. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever been personally in a situation where you did something, but you said you didn't, and then you found out that somebody knew what you did? How did you resolve that? Because now you'd have to say that you can't get this package out of FedEx. You can't get this package out of the post office. You can't get the letter back from Mike Johnson. And then you sit back and start thinking, what did I say? Oh, my God. They got a tape of that? Yeah, somebody's got a tape of it. Hope this person has security. After what we saw yesterday, I hope this person has some security. People have disappeared for less than this, and you're talking about the leading presidential candidate on the Democrat Party. They got tapes? I'm pretty sure Nixon had to get on a helicopter and wave goodbye, right? He's got tapes. Have you heard that anywhere in the news? He's got tapes. Let's continue. All right, so this is the finality of it, and this is the verification where you're actually swearing. All right, so it's legalese, but you should be able to understand this. From the state of New York, they blocked out what county. I make these statements under the penalty of perjury and without coercion of any kind. Nobody twisted my arm. I, state your name, being duly sworn, hereby deposes and says the deponent has read the foregoing affidavit and hereby vows to the content thereof that the same is true to the deponent's own knowledge as to the matter therein to be stated, to alleged upon information and belief, and as those matters the deponent believes to be true. A lot of legal stuff is basically saying, yeah, it's true. Sworn to me. All right, so this is where you understand if you've never had to execute an oath on a document. The top right signature would be the guy, and the bottom two would be the notary who took and swore and said, yeah, do you swear under penalty of perjury that everything you're about to say is true, the whole truth, nothing but truth? I so do. Okay, let me just notarize your signature here. From what you've just seen, how did she survive this?
If there is one word of that is true, that they agreed with her team they would be fact-checking Trump and or agreed she wouldn't be facing comparable scrutiny, these guys are toast. Toast.